Is Salem, Oregon a good place to live? Today, we are going to share everything that you need to know about living here. So if you are somebody who is thinking about relocating to Salem, Oregon, or anywhere in the surrounding areas, be sure to stay tuned until the very end. You're not going to want to miss anything today. But if you're new here, welcome. My name is Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are a top producing husband and wife real estate team here in Oregon. And we get calls, texts, and emails from people like you that are watching our YouTube videos all of the time. If that's you, don't hesitate to reach out. We would love to work with you as well. So the first thing that we are going to discuss in today's video is, what is the grocery shopping situation like here? What type of grocery stores do we have? And I would say that Salem does not lack. We don't have a Whole Foods, which I don't like. We do have 3 other like natural food stores. However,
which is possibly why Whole Foods isn't here.
Yes, but we do not lack in grocery stores. Would you agree?
I would agree. And I always love talking about food. I know our previous videos we've talked about like happy hour restaurants. I've had clients call us on calls. Man, I found you through the happy hour video, or where would you recommend to eat in Salem? Food is always that topic that's fun to talk about.
Yeah.
And dependent on, are you a grocery shopper? Are you an Uber delivery girl or guy? I mean, what type of shopping do you prefer? The cool part is we have it all, I would say.
Yes.
First, I want to go through your list, though.
Okay, so let's just share. I just thought we would share a couple examples from each side of town of grocery stores, because we talked about this in a previous video not too long ago, but we kind of like broke down Salem, if you will, where we shared like the different sides of town, because Salem is kind of split up in like South Salem, West Salem, North Salem, and then in each side of town, you're gonna find plenty of grocery stores. And I would say, I mean, like we said in that video, South Salem alone, there's like 10? I don't know.
Oh
there's
my
a good,
gosh.
There's a good handful.
There's a great handful.
There's a great handful. So let's just share a few examples on each side of town.
Okay.
I'll start with South Salem. In South Salem, we have a Costco. We've got a Trader Joe's, a Natural Grocers, a Life Source. So those are all 3 like natural food stores. There's a Safeway. There is a Fred Meyer. There's a Winco.
There's a Walmart.
There's a Walmart. Oh yeah, can't forget. There's 2 Walmarts. There's 2 Roths.
Yeah.
Probably missing something, but...
And this is all South Salem.
This is all in just one side of town.
Yeah, and the cool part is what I like. You do have the natural grocery options, but then you got the big box Whole Food stores that like Walmart, Safeway, Fred Meyer's, and they all are, I would say, on southeast side of town off Commercial Street. They've all been renewed or updated in the past, and that makes it nice and clean.
Yeah.
And the items and materials, they're always just a good feeling to walk in through because they are so clean.
Yes. And right by Costco, luckily, is a Chick-fil-A. So that makes it really convenient.
Right, that one's
to just
new.
hit them both at the same time. So
Chick-fil-A, Killer Burger.
Yes, right there. So what are some places that we have on like other sides of town?
Other sides of town, as in Lancaster?
Just a couple examples. Yeah, North Salem.
So Northeast Salem, the majority shopping places in Northeast Salem, they do have a Mega Foods in Northeast Salem. It's pretty far down on Commercial Street, more towards Lancaster, more towards Portland Roadside, Chemekta Community College. But that's one really big one that I do see, and I mean, me personally, I've shopped there when I lived in Northeast Salem. They do have one of the biggest Walmarts in Salem, I would say, off of Lancaster Drive. It's pretty far down across from Chemekta University as well. Now, Safeway really can't ever go anywhere without a Safeway, right? Everybody
gotta have a Safeway.
Everybody's got Walgreens on both sides of town too, though.
That's true.
Northeast Salem, Lancaster Drive is such a long, straight path.
There's a Winco over there too.
There's a Winco.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? Is there any natural grocery stores there, though? I feel like that is what they're lacking.
South Salem, yes.
Okay.
They're all in South Salem.
So that is one of the, I guess, negatives, you could say, on living on the Lancaster side of Salem, northeast side Salem, if that's the type of grocery shopping you're into.
But our Fred Meyer's, which there is a Fred Meyer over in North Salem as well, and our Fred Meyer has a excellent natural food section, so they have a lot of options there. So, and then we have West Salem. There's not as many options there, but there are a couple.
I was actually talking to an individual at church, actually, that lives in West Salem, and I just said, we brought up the grocery stuff. I said, well, what really, is there something I'm missing that you West Salem people know about?
Where do you shop
And she
at?
said, no, you're really spot on. You got 2 places. There's a Ross and there's a Safeway. And one's on Wallace Road and one's off of Eola Drive. So there's really two places in West Salem that you're going to be shopping, which that Roth's in West Salem, there's not another one like it, I would say, in our area.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. It's
very
big.
nice.
There's conference rooms actually upstairs.
Yeah.
It's got the built-in Starbucks,
You
I
could get
believe,
married
or
up there.
coffee
There's
joint.
a big ballroom.
Yeah.
Basically, like you could literally host a wedding.
It's like a conference center. So
it's pretty, yeah.
one of the nicest Roths I've personally done
Yeah.
our dinner parties at Berkshire Hathaway, actually, when we were at that company, used to be upstairs for our Christmas parties.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could host hundreds of people up there. So cool building. Go check it out if you're in West Salem.
Good building. Yes. Okay. So another thing to know about Salem is that Salem is very car dependent. Mm-hmm. We are actually known for our bike paths. We do have an Uber and we do have a city bus system called Chariots, but most people drive here.
Yeah. But what is cool though, say you don't have a car, say you drive bike. You can always use these bus systems. Our bus systems are everywhere. They do get you from side to side of town. You do need to know the bus routes. And I think I'm guilty. I've never even been on the bus here in Salem. But you can use your GPS. That'll help you out along the way. I know plenty of people that commute to work in that fashion. But Salem is known, I would say Oregon in general is known, Portland and Salem, for their city transit systems. Those tend to be pretty beneficial for our community.
Yes. So the next thing you need to know before moving here. So a lot of our clients are people who have never been to Oregon, believe it or not, or at least they've never been to Salem many times until after they close on the home that they're buying here. So they don't know what to expect. They don't know the beauty of the Willamette Valley yet. And then a lot of them have been here. And the reason that they're moving is because of the beauty here. Right. So that's the next thing that you need to know is there's a lot of beauty. We're surrounded by farms, which means we have really great produce, lots of farm stands, like in a lot of the towns, I guess you could say, surrounding Salem. There's also a lot of wineries. We are very close to wine country being here in Salem. So there's a lot of really, really beautiful vineyards that are very, very close. I mean, there are some really beautiful vineyards right here in Salem itself as well.
I don't think people talk about our wineries or vineyards locally enough.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, we got over 4 or 5 just in the surrounding area, about 40 to 35 minutes away from Salem.
Yeah.
So Salem be in the middle. You can branch out northwest, east, south, and you will find a winery about 35 minutes. And then once you find one, you're going to probably find 2, 3 that are all together. And you can really make a fun evening, a fun weekend out of these wine trips. There's wine tours. I haven't actually ever done one, but my mother has. She has a blast with the wine tours, and they give you transportation, obviously. Yeah. And it's just something to do as a group and an activity. I don't think we talk about that well enough.
No. And here, I mean, in Salem alone, we have a handful of really, really beautiful wineries.
Absolutely.
Okay, so another thing to know before moving here is there is a giant brand new amphitheater at the Riverfront downtown. So all summer long, there are concerts going on. There are events. They do a lot of events happening at Riverfront in general, but just with this like amphitheater specifically, there are a lot of concerts happening all throughout the summer. They do movies in the park there. So that's just something that's really fun. Kind of dies down in the winter, not really a lot happening. But in the summer months, it's really fun to get to enjoy that.
I mean, I cannot believe the amount of money spent on this amphitheater, but it's gorgeous. It's amazing. There's a walking bridge right behind it. If you want to take photos, you go to the Riverfront. They got the walkway going all the way down to the Willamette Valley River, the Willamette River. And you can get on a dock there. You can actually swim off the edge. I personally don't swim in the water, but some people do. Our Riverfront, I can't brag about it enough, but the reason I bring that up is because the amphitheater is there. There's always something to be doing at the Riverfront. If you got kids, they got the park.
The carousel.
Find something on the schedule though. They got beautiful and great concerts.
Yeah.
Great concerts
put
out there throughout
actually
the year.
Good concerts are come now. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is this might be my personal opinion, but I don't think it is. We have the best parks. So
I would suggest we do as well.
Yes. And we won't talk about this too much because we've touched on it in previous videos before. I don't want to be redundant, but we're talking like playgrounds as well as walking parks, places to walk. If you want to go on a good walk, if you want to walk your dog, ride your bike, bring your family. We have really great parks here in Salem.
What's cool is when I've been on a showing, every side of town.
Yeah.
They say, Spence, what I got kids. What's a good park? We get on Google, we find a good park. it's always within like 5 minutes away. And there's usually 2 or 1 at least to choose out of. Now, just for instance, we're in Kaiser yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We get some lunch. We bring it to the park. This park in Kaiser is one of the best parks I've ever been on. It's clean.
Yeah.
It's got the rubber mats.
Big playground, safe.
Rock climbing walls. Yeah. I mean, this is unbelievable.
And there's a giant dog park as well as walking trails. You could go on a walk there. Pretty sure there's even like a stage area. I think I've been to like a concert there before at some point. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a great park. Okay, so another thing that you need to know is downtown living is pretty much limited to a smaller amount of condo living, apartments living, or just a few neighborhoods that bump up to downtown, but the neighborhoods are not like directly downtown, if that makes sense. Like they're not like right next to the coffee shop. Like if you want to live like in the heart of downtown, you're going to be in a condo or an apartment.
Yeah. And one thing I'm noticing, though, because we do have more condo communities, more townhouse communities being built directly downtown, which is really cool, really unique. Walkability goes way up. You're right next to all those shops and stuff. The parking, I feel like, is going to get a little bit more dramatic and harder to find. We do have free parking downtown in the parking garages and in multiple areas along the streetway. As you get closer to the government buildings, then you're going to have to pay to park or just buy a yearly parking pass, which a lot of people do. But I do see that being a problem in the future, especially as you get towards the downtown, because there's a brand new condo facility. They did not build a parking structure. Everybody that's going to be buying these condos usually is going to have a car attached to them. And they're going to have to buy a yearly pass. Well, it's going to be used on the roadways. It's going to be street parking because there is no parking structure for them to be in. So I would say look out for that one as we do approach the next 2 to 3 years. Parking will become more of an issue, I believe.
Yeah, that's another thing that I think it's a pro in the way that we do still have free parking in Salem, and I think that it's pretty hard to find a city of, I mean, obviously we're a very small city, but even looking at comparing to other cities of similar size, it's hard to find somewhere that does have free parking like that. But with that being said, there is a really shortage, I think, of parking. It's really difficult to find a parking spot if you go downtown during like the busy lunchtime or dinner time, especially on like a weekend. That can be kind of annoying. You got to walk, you know, if it's cold, if it's rainy, but there could be worse problems. So, okay, I think that is it for today.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. Again, if you are thinking about relocating to Oregon, feel free to reach out. We would love to work with you, and we'll see you next week.